I was embarking on the best month of my life, and I didn't even have a clue. I had to catch 2 planes to get to China, with 50 people from my university that I'd never actually met before. They started off by locking me outside my own balcony. That is how you make friends, right? We soon started to realise there's no such thing as health and safety in China, where Jerome nearly died. I didn't even catch it on camera. He was supposed to do this, but instead he just fell on his head. We didn't touch them contraptions ever again. It wasn't just the health and safety that was different either. The food, the dresswear, and even the passion in teaching. Oh yeah, and the toilets. But don't worry, I got lucky. It's like 40 degrees as well. We found out Jerome hadn't even told his mum that he was going to China. We soon found a way to have fun without social media as well. We also invented this game where put a blindfold over your head and just have people chuck toilet roll at you as well. It didn't end that well for me, but oh well. The next day, we went up to Shanghai World Financial Center. And trust me, I did not wake up that morning thinking that I was going to have some water sprayed up my bum. It was not for me. I stood up and it went all over the door. Anyway, that night I went to a show called Veorra.
This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've had my fair share of wicked cool. It left me speechless.
I don't know what to say.
The next day we headed back into downtown Shanghai. It was amazing. Jerome went on to buy some wheelie/heely type thing. It didn't go down very well considering he broke them like 2 minutes later.
I love you too.
But that was the least of our worries. You see that car over there?
That's them.
They're our friends.
Just went. Oh no, they went the wrong way.
It actually turns out that we went the wrong way. So we did an hour's round trip to finally get to our hostel. But we got there in the end, which we had to celebrate with a beer. This also happened.
I'm on a new level.
That was the first taste of us going out in China, and it was mad. The next day was tough. I'm not sure if it was the alcohol or tiredness, lack of sleep. I did some weird things that day. Well, so did everyone. Jerome topped it off by pushing Emily in the bush. I'm so glad that was caught on camera. That evening was spent on a river cruise. It was amazing, but I'd run out of charge on my camera. The next thing we knew, we were back at the university, we'd bought longboards, and it was my birthday. Jerome kept leaving the flat door open and letting all the mosquitoes in, so me and Dan took revenge. They also got me a birthday card. Thanks to anybody that had anything to do with that, by the way.
Oh my god, happy birthday!
They also got me a lap dance, a very cheap lap dance. It would only be fair if I went out for my birthday, and I did. This is about everything that I remember. Okay, I remember a little bit more, but after that night, I didn't really touch my camera for a while, until I went to the second longest bridge in the world. The next morning we were off to Beijing, and there was such a mix-up with our passports. Only 5 of us actually made it onto the train. There was about 30 people left behind. The train journey was long. Extremely long.
Some of us left our dignities in Shanghai.
We were there, we'd made it. It was time to explore.
Browse.
The browse was amazing, but we started to realise we were the only white people in Beijing. This meant everybody wanted a photo. Well, enough people. The next day we entered the Forbidden City, where they say it's good luck to touch the doorknobs. I touched a lot of knobs that day. The views were amazing, for some people more than others. It was like the book came to life. We then probably went to the highlight of my trip. But my days was it steep and hot. And hard. In fact, no, it wasn't hard. It was torture. It wasn't the highlight. And look how much further I had to go. Gah. But when you make that last step, oh my days, was it worth it? The views, the fresh air.
Last night in my dreams, walking the streets, summer ghost town.
That was one of our last days in Beijing. Once we got back to our main base back in Shanghai, they decided to take us to a zoo. We just ended up tearing it up on these go-kart pedalo sort of things. Then we decided to tear it up on these mopeds. And the next thing we knew, we were back travelling again, on the way to Hangzhou. Me being a good person, I made sure everybody wasn't hungry. One of the perks of this trip was the fact that we got to cycle around the most beautiful views that you could imagine. David told me this amazing story about the White Snake Princess and how she lived in the temple right across that lake. When me and David then got back with everybody else, I made him tell the story, but before he could finish, we were interrupted by a typhoon, so we had to get off the water. As stupid as that sounds, that's not actually a joke. That night we did exactly what we did best. Drink and drink hard. It really didn't help as well that one of us ordered chicken feet off the menu. Little did we know we were just about to enter one of the best clubs I've ever been to in my life. Go from 1 second of being like this to the next second of us being on the VIP stage. For there's some woman singing Moves Like Jagger to us. It was bad. The next day was hard. We were running off about 3 hours sleep and we had to climb a mountain. I then made the schoolboy error of jumping on a bridge. It was not a good idea. Was not one of my finest moments. As per usual, the climb was hard, but the views were always worth it. We tobogganed down, but it really hurt because it was made out of marble. Wouldn't do that again, but would do this again. It was at this point though that they told us that we weren't meant to have our phones out. As soon as this finished, we were straight back on the bus to Shanghai. Matt tried to catch chicken. Didn't go very well. It kind of encouraged me to capture a cat. That did go well. We named him Scrappy. He lived with us for a couple of days until he pooed on my bed, and we got rid of him. That was probably one of my last memories of being in Shanghai. Aside from Liam singing us a song, oh, and going to a nightclub that was actually for drag queens. That was interesting. This is like the outro, the bonus track to an album. Was it the best month of my life? I don't know, I'm not sure. Can you really judge? I know it was up there. It was, it banged, to be fair. It was I met such good people as well, and anybody that was on that trip, if you weren't in the video, then I'm sorry, but there was so much stuff to put in. There's so many stories as well that I didn't put in, but 2 days after this trip, I got back, went to my sister's graduation, and then I was lucky enough to go on holiday again to New York, so there is a video coming from that. Subscribe if you haven't already, like it if you like it, share it with friends if you want to do that. Thank you for watching.
Love, 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 love.